Oh, damn it. I just forgot to do this thing. I was just fired up in the other search engine. So, US politics is probably going to be, at least on the national level, very, very boring for the next couple of years. Uh, Maybe not boring, but I don't really have what's a good word for it? Basically, it's going to be a thing where I just kind of am more of a neutral arbiter that insults both sides because I don't like either side. You might have a Republican senator that I think has a good voting record or a Democrat, but for the most part, I'm just going to hammer away at the various members of both sides because I don't like them. And the only reason this is kind of sticking out now is that there's kind of really no one to root for, basically, in terms of race is basically over. And people think that it's now time to do the VP pick. You've had the same names getting just thrown around: Warren, Harris, Abrams, that clown from Michigan that has been governor for like 2 seconds, but apparently now she's ready to be VP. And I saw something interesting. I decided to highlight it. We'll talk about it for a little bit and then we can get out of here because no people are tired and they don't want to hear me yammer on. A new committee is pushing for former First Lady Michelle Obama to join the ticket of presumptive Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden as his vice president. The committee, called Draft Michelle Obama, touted Obama as the best choice, both to help the former vice president defeat President Trump in November, as well as the best to help Biden lead the country if he wins. The committee to draft Michelle Obama firmly believes that Ms. Obama will not only benefit the Democratic ticket this November, but also help lead this country to be more just and caring, the committee said in a statement released Monday. Biden has said on several occasions that he would be willing to pick Obama for the spot. The committee, which filed with the Federal Elections Commission on April 26, said its goal is to show Obama how many people want her to accept Biden's informal request for her to serve. Immediately after Vice President Biden announces his choice, he will focus on supporting the Democratic ticket. We first want to assure that Ms. Obama sees how many people would like to see her accept Biden's ask to be his running mate or encouragement for her decision alone to make, the committee said in a statement. Drew Zuckerman, a spokesman for the committee, told The Hill that the group is backed by a number of prominent Democratic fundraisers, including Mac Wilburn, Sid Topol, and Nadine Hack. I just love that one of their last names actually is Hack. Biden's campaign is distancing itself from Stacey Abrams. Yeah, she's been acting like a fool recently because she's been going around, uh, I guess, auditioning publicly for VP. First, she's saying that she doesn't believe the Tara Reid stuff. Then she's going around saying that I can have a record of winning, even though you lost in what is supposed to be one of the southern states that actually can be swung if the Democrats work hard enough. Like I said, I've never seen a person who lost an election get propped up as a victor. And also, thank you for the super chat. It's very appreciated. Oh, I got my silhouette going. God, this light always acts up. Let me see if there's anything else in here. So they mentioned how Biden said that he would take her in a heartbeat and all this stuff. Um, I could see where, because I often criticize the former President Obama, there are people who will think that basically I am opposed to anything having to do with him, and that's actually not true. Um, Michelle's probably similar to Abrams in the sense that they kind of like they're just people you pick because people fall in love with the celebrity of them. They don't really know anything that person actually believes in. And it's like, oh well, it's Obama's wife, so she probably likes the ACA. But it's still pretty much a blank slate. So they're trying to go off of her high approval rating, which I mean, I couldn't stand what George W, who's ironically enough been getting praise from liberals and progressive recently for a stupid statement he put out, but everybody loved his wife. That's kind of a thing. The first lady usually gets a much higher approval rating than the husband. And a lot of that has to do with the fact they're not running for office, they're not making any major policy changes. So it's kind of weird to see to see people pretend like she's something special. Hell, out of these last four first ladies, the only one that should have ran for president was Laura. Okay, alternate media and its figures are in a state of disaster. They won't be ending any wars soon with the way they're behaving. Yeah, I got a video on Pac-Man coming out probably tomorrow about him praising George W for his comments, and I was grossed out. What's big, Mama? She's not even. Why Big Mama? Like why? You should have said that about Abrams because she actually is. I had that one commenter that said she looks like a linebacker. I don't even like when they do that because usually I try to not focus on how the candidates look because people talk trash about how I look all the time, including my light making me look like a Batman villain. I got the silhouette. Yeah, I couldn't tell you what she's done in politics other than be the wife of a president. I think it's really crazy now that because of Trump's victory, like it used to be a thing where people didn't want to run for the House. Excuse me, people who were in the House, members of the House, didn't want to run for president because they knew it would be much more difficult than being a senator or a governor or secretary of state. And ever since Trump won without holding any office before, everyone thinks they can do it. No, Ruben, you can look this up. The last president that got elected while being a sitting member of the House was James Garfield. And people for literally over 100 years said, all right, well, I'm not going to bother running while I'm in the House. I'm going to have to get something higher. And now people who've never even ran for anything, just random individuals. And it's not even like a thing of, oh, maybe it's a political commentator. This is someone who literally has spoken of her disdain for elections and, as far as we can tell, hasn't kept up any kind of um, knowledge on what's going on now. Yeah, I'm aware, Ruben. I'm just saying that he was the last president to get elected while being a sitting member of the House. So it wasn't really about his assassination. It was just kind of pointing out that footnote of how unsuccessful members of the House are when they try to run for president while still being in the House. The right wing pundit I was referring to is Jesse Lee. Oh, him. I thought he was kind of, I don't want to say gone, but like done and on the way. Like you don't really hear much about him. I know there's a lot of right wing pundit like outside of Hannity um, and Shapiro. I most of them kind of, and I guess Carlson as well. They all sort of disappeared to the background. But I would love to just compile like a big list of them to, I guess, do something about. Also, by the way, Ruben, I started work on the Gerald Ford documentary, which, Jesus Christ, that thing's going to be at least 3 parts as well. I'll see about doing it this week. I got this really good interview of his. I'm gonna stick it in there when it's convenient. So I'm still gonna see if I can do the Schumer one before that. Oh, I know him. I could, I think he actually, and people like to say it's evil to accuse someone of buying subs, but I thought it was really weird. Okay, Ruben, the way these are done, the documentaries, especially if it's someone who had a career that's like 40, 50 years, is I tried to do it in chronological order. So part one, ideally, would be his life up until he became vice president, if not cutting off at some point while he's in the House. And then part two would be his presidency, and then part three would be his post presidency, which is one of the longest in American history. Um, no, I think I'm not even gonna say his name. I think Dan buys subs and views because every video on his channel kept having 30,000 views when I went over those. Like, what the hell? That just seems a little too coincidental, in my opinion. But hey, maybe the 30,000 people just get in a little room and all come to that person's channel over and over and watch his videos like they're candy or religiously. Hey, the Church of Bongino. The only thing he's another one of those commentators where they get an issue and then they try to make it seem like they're smart on other stuff and they're just not. So like his whole thing is I'm the NRA guy. Whenever he talks about international issues, sounds like a buffoon. He talks about healthcare. He has to start crying about communism and all these stupid terms that people use to dissuade from actually having a discussion about the issues with the current system. Uh, just like with Candace Owens, they ask her a climate question on Joe Rogan. No, I don't believe that. Yeah, but that one struck me as very obvious. You remember Ruben in the back in the day, YouTube used to let you look at people's subs, and you could see who was sub to them. Not anymore. I wonder why. Hey, I should do that. I should just like wake up one day and just buy some views, have a million views on some video, just for the hell of it. Stalin probably ate meat, so we should all become vegetarians. I mean, I guess. No, I can't think of anything Michelle has ever said about any topic ever that wasn't nutrition or some kind of civility crap. Like she gave this speech during the 2016 campaign, and everybody was talking about, "Oh my God, what an amazing speech!" And I remember that in response to it, Trump took what she said about Clinton during the 2008 Democratic presidential primary and just repeated it verbatim. That's the best thing when the person who's trying to stick up for the one you're insulting already wrote or already said nasty stuff about that person. So all you have to do is just read what they wrote. YouTube stopped letting us link to the channels of people. Yeah, I know. I hate that. Because, one of the things people like to do is if there's a really big YouTuber, there's actually a guy I sometimes will watch. Uh, if he gets into an argument with some person or they have a falling out, somebody will come with an account with that person's picture, and they're always able to prove it's not that person because they can click on the account and go to it and see that they don't have any subs, any videos. So now people are going to be able to go around and you don't even know if it's them or not. That was a really stupid idea that YouTube had. You know what? They did something else that was dumb on the mobile version of the YouTube app. They tried to put the comments right under the video and then have the like recommended videos underneath it. It looked terrible. It's like who the hell? Oh my god, this website is such a they don't even care, they just do whatever. It's like, hey, to hell with actually improving it, visually or in what you can do. No, let's just keep changing the look of it. Because we know that's the really important thing about YouTube, the look. That's the essential issue. What else can I say? No, I think what it is that you have a lot of because Jank put out a video, I think about 2 days ago, stream he did, where he was mentioning how a lot of the donors are back in Harris, and he's doing his Warren shilling. He's got to make sure that his sellout, treacherous lizard's friend is able to get some approval from TYT. Still backing her to the end. The look always ends up looking worse. Well, that's what I was thinking. That a lot of the donors are giving Michelle a look because they can. So when Hillary ran in 2008, she said and basically they think that Michelle could theoretically be kind of like an Obama third term in the sense that she would be used by him to have influence on a Biden presidency without being in the elected position because of how close they are. I mean, being husband and wife. So it's not really people thinking she's smart and even if they did, why the hell would you want to vote for someone you know nothing about? Like, I don't care how, oh, I remember when I was 10 and Obama won the Iowa caucus. You don't know anything about the positions of his wife. All you know is that she did the usual stuff every first lady does. She campaigned for members of her husband's party and had like one big issue that was kind of apolitical, like everybody would agree was a big deal. And that was about it. The last first lady that really stood for something that was kind of controversial was probably Betty Ford because the Equal Rights Amendment. After that, everyone just kind of tries to stay cozy and not really offend anyone. Who else from TYT is still back in Lizard besides? Oh my God, it'd be funny. Before we read the rest of your comment, imagine if Warren gets picked by Biden and we actually, like, I Photoshop Lizard from Spider-Man next to Biden and that's the ticket. Biden Lizard. Okay, who else from TYT is still backing Lizard besides Jank and Emma? Also, Kyle hates Lizard now, but still keeps calling her left wing, which is stupid. Uh, I think that's pretty much it because, like, even though I give Anna a lot of flack for other positions that she has, she actually was. If you saw the excerpt I played in that video I did on Jank, where he was caping for Warren, Anna actually got in on him. Said that her being, all to herself is unacceptable. So I think it's just the two of them that are acting that way. Poor doggy. Oh, Warren's dog, the one that she brought during the campaign. I had to think for a second. You know what? I don't even remember. I just know that the older one, Malia, was an idiot because she was taking nasty, like she was doing some nasty dance, and then she was making out with some dude at the school in front of everybody. And, I always said public displays of affection are basically people trying to feel validated about their relationships through the eyes of others because you can make out with your wife or spouse in your home. You don't need 8 people seeing it, but they do that because they want to convince themselves that, well, look at this great thing I have. Yeah, I don't really know what the other one's done. I do remember there was an old article from the National Enquirer back when I think Obama was still in office. It was probably during his last year where they were saying Michelle was going to divorce him after uh, I think it's Sasha, the second one, the younger one was graduated from high school. So I'm still waiting on that divorce. God, National Enquirer, all these magazines. I'm so done with them. Poor doggy. I remember when Democrats used to rant about how Bush's offspring were behaving rotten. Yeah, and look at Obama's prodigy. They're just sitting here doing the same stuff. At least the first one is anyway. I said it's weird. They pick and choose who they want to get offended by. Yeah, I'm done with them. No, the whole list of people. See, this is why this whole thing was stupid. They should have never, like, Biden could have gotten a little bit of my respect if he hadn't been stupid enough to go, I will make sure the person I pick has a vagina. Because that automatically means multiple progressive men that would actually be seen as making overtures to the Sanders camp are screwed. Like, but again, they're doing their whole identity politics thing, so it'll just be another work. This guy was saying I was mad because that mean I was mostly upset because this means he won't pick Roe. I'm like, no, I want Roe to stay in the House. I don't want him to end his career on a failed presidential ticket. I don't want him to be Paul Ryan 2.0. Man, Ryan had the worst thing in the world. He sits on this ticket with Romney. They fail, and then he's like, oh well, I'm gonna run for president next time, and then he gets to be speaker, and he sees this big, huge, enormous field of people entering that race. He's like, all right, screw it. And now the only legacy he has is leaving uh, the government in what would be its longest shutdown ever. That's the only thing he accomplished. Oh my god. No, this whole cycle is over. It got so boring so fast. Like right after Sanders got out, it just went from, oh man, what's the total going to be in this state to, oh, it's just Biden, one of two rapists in the Democratic field. By the way, they were showing a picture of Tara Reid from, I think, around the time she left his office on CNN, and because I actually recorded a video about David Axelrod, who I'm sure Ruben is familiar with, one of Obama's stooges, where he was basically saying, "Well, we didn't find any information about her when we vetted Biden in 2008." And I was looking at her picture. I had to stop reading the article. She was so attractive. So damn, if all those Instagram whores and deviant clowns were look like that, we might actually be more susceptible to them. But they unfortunately don't. And they still are able to attract a whole bunch of dudes. Yeah, I had to download that picture. Man, like she wanted to be a intern at a for some old senator. She should have been a model. Orange versus vegetable. Are they going to fuse to make a carrot? How about something else? What's something that's orange and green? I have to come back to it. I don't think those colors get used together that often. It's usually like orange and I don't know, yellow or something. Just something that's closer in the palette in the great color scheme. Now, when I saw Tara in that photo, I went bananas. Said, Jesus, she could be my intern any day. Well, not really, because I probably wouldn't even hire any chicks. The way that they do all these accusations now, like it's so crazy to, I don't know, be 70 and then someone's like, hey, when you were 40, this person is saying you touched them. Like you have to live a extra third of your lifespan before they can come out and with their accusations. I'm just glad the mainstream media is finally covering this. And there actually was someone, I'm forgetting their name, that predicted that this would happen, where they would keep it hush hush while the primary was going, especially if Sanders was the one that was running against Biden, and then they would elevate it and start discussing it regularly. so we can have a couple of gropers the election cycle in full effect. Like I said, the only election ever where both candidates have sexual assault allegations. And it's the stupidest thing in the world because out of that whole 22, whatever the number of Democrats that ran field, the only people who were accused of this kind of behavior were Biden and Bloomberg. And they still ended up being in like what, the top four between the two of them. So I said people don't care about sexual assault or any of those allegations because if they did, they wouldn't vote for these people. And it's like they want me to believe. And I guess what is so annoying is Biden's ideology is really not that special. So I don't really see where you have any net negatives from him dropping out and then, I don't know, like the stupid mayor taking over or Klobuchar or some other person that sucks. Chris Hayes is the Tucker Carlson of MSNBC. How did you know Black Pill's favorite conservative commentator was Tucker Carlson? He said he misses the bow tie era. People come with all kind of weird names on here. I remember when Ruben used to call himself Ruben. Now he's Pandemonium, and he's got his first name spelled backwards to be edgy. No, I can't wait to get in on that one chick in that video on Wednesday or whatever day it is. I'll put that up. You say big, and then we find out you're like 5'3", so it's false advertising. Hey, we're gonna call you small as a as a little as a pill gamer, small as a pill gamer, pill sized gaming. Off of your height. Oh my god. That's gonna be the actual. We're gonna rename your channel. Yeah, I know they would pose them in certain ways to make them look taller and on the camera. That's like good old propaganda. They make people. I don't even know why people are really that ashamed of their heights. It's really weird. No, Michelle's just another person that's getting propped up. And I guess what is so insane about it is she kept saying, "I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it." And it's like this thing of her running for president eventually, which has pretty much been an idea ever since Hillary did it, and people got this idea that the wives of successful politicians have to try as well, or should try, whatever the hell. She just kept saying she didn't want to do it. Like they asked her before this election cycle, "Do you want to run for president?" She said no. Asked her husband, he said no. Distinctively, he said there are a couple of things guaranteed in life. He said taxes, death, and my wife is not running for president. They just kept like, what the hell? Damn, does she have to stitch it on a pillow? And for Twitch can go to hell. I don't like Twitch. They kept messing with David. And then we found out it's not even the actual people that own the content messing with him. It's some jerk proposing as them. So I don't like Twitch. I don't like Discord. I tolerate Wikipedia, but all these websites are kind of gone to hell for me because it's just too much stupid stuff. People act too ridiculous. Yeah, and I guess what's so annoying is he kind of like out of the people he realistically is gonna pick, um, because I've seen somewhere like, oh, Warren is progressive and Harris isn't. It's like, yeah, but what is that based off of? Do we need to bring up, because these are the same people who like to take one vote and make it seem like it's the end of the world. When Collins voted for Kavanaugh's confirmation, all the votes she had before with the Democrats never existed. So we're going to do the same thing. When Warren voted for the USMCA, which is basically NAFTA 2.0, they should have just gotten rid of her. Like they should have said that's not a progressive. That's just like Ruben is saying, lizard Warren. Oh, here we go. His best mistake would be there. I fixed it for you. Only has one name on this channel after that sabotage game she tried to play. And who the hell wants to run with someone where every 8 seconds they're going to get called Pocahontas by the person you're challenging? Like, in what, Ruben, please explain to me, in what bizarro world would Warren be the best bet? A woman who got called out for flip flopping on single payer, a woman who got called out for saying that a man who did 14 events in 5 days for the first woman ever nominated by a major party for president, and said he was of the belief, or he claimed to her that he was of the belief that a woman couldn't win this election. Like, why the hell would this person be good at all? Remotely, in what world, what planet was getting praised for the dumb? Yeah, they look, Ruben. They all gave dumb speeches about Kavanaugh. Like I said, the whole thing with him is the Democrats were stupid because they should have let it be about him being this conservative rubber stamp for corporations, as opposed to whining about some assault allegations from over 20 years ago. So they were dumb for letting that be the main topic as opposed to his actual record. I mean, you can insult her, but you're insulting her right after saying that she would be the best bet. Bailey would be a better bet. That dog needs to come and get on the ticket with Biden. Yeah, exclusively. Well, remember, Ruben, that's why I said people don't pay attention to anything that these people say, because I could have sworn it was known by everybody at this point that Biden confirmed his running mate will be a chick. So it's like, what the hell are you talking about Sanders for? So I said people they don't even care. They just say whatever. Screw what the candidate said. Screw what we actually know. Screw what's fact. Just throw it out the window. Type a bunch of stuff. Native American spirit cigarettes. No, we're gonna get a whole what? May, June, July, August, September, October, November. We're gonna have 7 months of Pocahontas, 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 Pocahontas. And people actually don't seem to mind having that. And we already saw Warren sinking ships. Her favorability went like this and then like this in a span of 2 months. And it's like, you guys want to pick someone who lost her home state. You and Jank. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I don't get the logic behind thinking that she's even remotely a good idea. I think what it is that a lot of the people who are saying that she's good are just like, they've got a hate boner for anyone they deem establishment. Like, I probably would rather he pick Klobuchar than Warren, because at least if they won, then Klobuchar's seat would be vacant, and then One of the like Omar or some other person could run for that seat. Instead, what I think is going to happen, which Klobuchar is going to stay on it for like another 10 or 20 years, probably 20, if not longer. Damn, and now Markey's gonna. I need to do a documentary on Markey this year because he's gonna lose his Senate seat in September. I think Ruben's familiar with Markey, the very progressive senator that none of the progressives give a damn about. Him and Jeff Merkley, because they don't have vaginas, they don't get the same luxury of having a bunch of attention paid to them like AOC. Oh God. I just hope he picks this damn person and announces it by the end of the month so we can just get used to. But the thing is, um, and I was trying to make this point before because people were saying that Biden's basically just Hillary with 2.0. That means that whoever he picks is going to be to the right of him. So it's probably going to be Klobuchar. Hell, it was funny because uh, you had Clyburn talking about, oh, we need to, the black women need to be rewarded by the running mate being a black woman. And then Biden basically was like, no, not really. Clyburn is so useless. Probably the worst Democratic congressman in the South. I know there's not that many of them, but he is just flat. Like I guarantee you, I couldn't that no one in your vicinity could name one thing he did. Let me go look at the list again. They have a whole list of these people, these fiends on Wikipedia. Before somebody says, "Oh my God, I can't believe you would use such a source," like yeah, but my thing is, you actually can look at the citations, and then you'll know what they're not just pulling this out of their behind. So let me look. Uh, it looks like they've got this stuff a little screwed up here. Isn't that perfect? They always make these articles so hard to find. Let's see. Yeah, it's funny. They put up these little brackets to show you like a navigation box, and then it still doesn't navigate you to the article you're looking for. The last Democratic governor from Kentucky just let the GOP evangelicals rob all the people's money to build a Noah's Ark theme park. Yeah, people take up the religion to all kinds of levels of extremes. I mean, you've seen some pastors who are telling people to give their stimulus uh, disrespect because it's not a check to other pastors or to them or to the church or whatever the hell. So have you lost your mind? Here it is, VP candidate selection. It's like, damn, Booker was on the short list at one point for the last time. Well, we know he's not on this list. All right, let's look at the senators. We got Harris, Gillibrand, Duckworth, Masto, Baldwin. Basically, every broad that's under the age of 80 in the Senate. That's a Democratic senator. Uh, oh my. Oh wait, no, I thought they took Klobuchar off. Yeah, I don't see him picking a gay chick, which is unfortunate because Tammy Baldwin's probably. Um, her and Merkley are in the same camp where they're not my top progressive, but they do have better records than the rest of the Democrats. I even mentioned, I think one time to Ruben, that Baldwin was one of the first politicians to come out in favor of single payer in the early 2000s. So she's definitely not going to get picked. That's a fantasy, which unfortunately is a reality that she won't get picked. Mastos just got into the Senate, so I don't think so. I don't see him running with in regards to Duckworth, a person who he was open to picking a Republican for VP. Hey, imagine if he picks Ernst from Iowa. You know, the one that has the gray hair that apparently got beat up by her husband and apparently was wanted by Trump for VP. He's like, I know Trump wanted you for VP, but your husband told you that you couldn't do it. But he's not here anymore. Man, she's gonna lose her Senate seat this November. It's gonna be so wonderful. Can't stand that lady. Shaheen's not gonna get picked. Hassan's not gonna get picked. Moving on. Oh, you know who actually is a good chance? Um, well, no, Cinema is gay too, but she's like Buddha Trash. She has a conservative record, so I think she might actually have a little chance. They got female Joe Manchin on the list. Let me see who else is here. All right, so that was the senators. Oh wow, my congresswoman is on this list. That'd be really crazy if that would be insane. I hope he doesn't. He's not going to pick her. I know that. It was funny too because there's actually an article where she was mentioned as a running mate for Sanders. And I was like, why the hell would Sanders pick her over Nina Turner or like anybody? Gabbards must have lost him. Like, just it is weird. They got Presley on here. They've got um, Waters, the troll doll. I can't stand that weasel. Impeach 45. So she's definitely not getting it. Barbara Lee, who is, I mean, she did endorse Harris, so she's not as, the progressive spotlight has fallen off of her. But I don't see it. First of all, she hasn't even done anything since 2001. Yeah, she gets so much praise for no reason. It's really disturbing. Is my light working? Never Trump neocons rise up. Sound like Megatron from animated Transform and Rise Up. Oh man, they got Rice, Hilda Solis. So I remember she actually was pretty. She was labor secretary. I think she was one of like two or three members of Obama's cabinet that actually were good, which is shocking to say the least. Um, Sally Yates, who was a one-hit wonder. There we go. There's Whitmer. That broad has done nothing. Barbara Lee still has the progressive spotlight even after endorsing Biden. Meanwhile, everyone there hates Kana. Yeah, I've seen so much vitriol toward him. And like I said, Ruben, I know you don't want to admit it, but there is a thing in people about defending and excusing women and kind of like leaving men out to dry. And it's especially true with the left. I mean, think about it. You had the Humanist Report like trying to like I like his content, but he was pushing this thing of the we've had 40 plus men as VP. We need a woman as VP. It's time for a woman. So, even when we claim we're not into identity politics, we still play it. That should be a show. Everybody hates Kana. Well, I don't. You know what? I should make. I'm gonna make another Twitter account. Ask him if he can come on here. How crazy would that be? We do an interview. My God, that'd be insane. All right, let's see who else is on this list of clowns. Abrams, who again, I've never seen someone do so little and just matter so just nothing of any accomplishment, and she's on the list. She's a top contender. So if you want to, Ruben, if you want to be on the short list of my running mates, you can lose the governorship of Georgia. And I always said it was rigged, but she still lost, and they're still trying to prop her up. Jesus. And they got the mayor of Chicago on here. She's only been in office for a year, but apparently that's qualified her to see this. Oh, Ruben ran out of stuff to say. He gave up on typing. Oh, they even have Debbie stabbed now. Like, no, who? Why would you know what? The thing is, whenever I try to do like I guess a reasonable conclusion of who Biden's going to pick, it's hard because I always remember that when Kane was picked by Clinton, I think no one expected, like, no one had him at the top of their list because people were actually thinking she was trying to win with her and have a running mate be part of that. And it was not the case. She picked the most boring, lame, meh senator in the world. And I remember I had somebody come in my comment section. They're trying to pick someone who will be ready on day one to take over as president. Yeah, whatever. Well, he can't take over if he doesn't win the election, and he didn't. Well, let me shut up. I know Ruben loves Tim Kaine. That's one of his favorite senators. That he's in his top five. I don't want to make the mistake of upsetting you. We were hearing about all kind of people that she was going to pick Castro, that she was going to pick pretty much anybody else, and that was not the case. She picked a right wing senator that was even further to the right than her, which is crazy as hell to this day. That's why I was saying that him and Pence, so Kane and Pence were two sides of the same coin. It's like you got a right winger who doesn't hate gay people and a right winger that does. I wonder which one I'll pick. They actually have Pelosi on here, which is insane. Why would he pick the Speaker of the House?
Presumptive Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden said it in.
Turn that off. They always have those little stupid click videos. All right, so it looks like we've reached a stalemate for comments. So I'll wrap this up. I don't know who it's going to be. It damn sure isn't going to be someone who keeps saying that they're not interested. And thank you again. I appreciate it. No, seriously, because I was not expecting either one of those. So thanks. But yeah, I'll upload stuff this week, and then that'll be pretty much the schedule for the remaining days. And then, some major, maybe on Thursday I might stream again. I don't know. So thank you. Have a good rest of your day.